Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of my podcast Explore and Engage with Anam. Title 42 has been lifted and the situation at the southern border of the United States is completely out of control. This is the US-Mexico border and the scenes at the border are chaotic. Migrants are coming into the United States and busloads of migrants are going to places like New York City. And now it seems that New York City can't handle the pressure anymore. Now, New York City is supposed to be a sanctuary city. In fact, Eric Adams in 2021, he was not the mayor at the time, but he was running for mayor. He had said that New York City will remain a sanctuary city under an Adams administration. But now that Eric Adams is the mayor of New York, his administration is trying to push migrants into other communities, into other counties. Now, why is this being done? Isn't New York City supposed to be a sanctuary city? Isn't New York City supposed to welcome migrants who show up to the city? Why is the Adams administration trying to push migrants into other communities? Why are they doing that? Let's talk about Chicago. Chicago is also supposed to be a sanctuary city, but now that migrants are going to Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot declared a state of emergency. But why? Can't Chicago continue to be a sanctuary city? Let me tell you, my friends, liberal policies have resulted in this crisis. I remember during the Trump years, when President Donald Trump was in office, there were many efforts to try to address the border security problems. But since President Joe Biden came to power, the border has become a big crisis area. Let's be very clear. Our country needs immigrants, and there is a legal way to do that. We need more immigrants. We do need immigrants, especially younger individuals who can come to the country, they can work hard, and they can contribute towards the economy in the legal way. There's a proper way to do that. But what's happening at the southern border of the United States is a complete crisis. And in the process of coming to America by crossing the border, many migrants are being hurt. People are dying and people are suffering from bodily injuries. Many children are being hurt in the process. So the real solution would be to have a strong immigration system that allows hardworking people from around the world to come to the United States through the legal process and after being vetted properly, because we have to know who is entering the country. There has to be strong background check. The Biden administration has turned the border into a crisis. It's a legal crisis, it's a humanitarian crisis, it's a public safety crisis, it's a public health crisis, and it's a massive crisis. My friends, let me now talk about another looming crisis on the other side of the world. And I'm going to talk about Bangladesh. And I don't know how many of you have paid attention to the news that there is a major cyclone that's heading towards Bangladesh. It's called Cyclone Mocha. Cyclone Mocha. And it's heading towards Bangladesh over the Bay of Bengal. And this is a fierce cyclone, and the wind speed is very high. It's a massive storm, and naturally people are afraid of what's going to happen when the cyclone hits Bangladesh. But I was shocked to see that many people near the beach, near the coastal areas, they were videotaping the sky and the sea, and they were waiting for Mocha to arrive. So, believe it or not, there are people who are risking their lives to make videos for social media, and they want to videotape the events, the waves, and the strong winds and everything. And some people are broadcasting live from the beach rather than finding a safe place for shelter. So I don't know what's going on. This is just shocking. I really want to ask, have people lost all common sense? When there's such a strong warning that a cyclone is heading towards Bangladesh, people should just find a safe place for shelter. They should move away from the coastal areas. In Cox's Bazar, which is very famous for the beautiful sea beach, a Signal 10 warning has been declared. A Signal 10 is basically known as a great danger signal. Just for context, if there's a Signal 7 warning or a Signal 8 warning, that's super scary. And Cox's Bazar is now under Signal 10. Great danger. And so I think people should just use common sense and stay away from the beach, stay away from the coastal areas, and find a safe place for shelter. Okay, my next point that I want to mention in this episode is Public Service Recognition Week. Public Service Recognition Week is from May 7 to May 13 this year. And as of the recording of this episode, it's May 13. So the Public Service Recognition Week is coming to an end. And this week really is to honor the men and women who serve our nation as federal, state, county, and local government employees. As someone who is strongly committed to excellent public service, I want to thank all those people around the country who are also dedicated to public service. There are many hardworking Americans who choose public service because they truly want to help people. My friends, before I conclude this episode, I would like to talk about the presidential election. I really think that Donald Trump is in the best position to become the Republican nominee for the office of the president. And I know that there are people out there who strongly support Donald Trump. There are people out there who would like to see a different candidate become the Republican nominee. And I am really not going to go into that discussion because this episode, what I'm trying to tell you is not about who should be the nominee, who should not be the nominee. What I'm telling you is, it is my objective analysis, given my observation, given where things stand as of now. I think that former President Donald Trump is in the best position to become the Republican nominee for the 2024 presidential election. And I say that because former President Donald Trump is getting tremendous attention on social media, on television, everywhere. When you're watching television, and by television I mean programs that include discussion on political topics, and in particular the presidential election. So when you're watching TV, you are going to notice three kinds of people. Number one, those who are conservatives, those who are Republicans, and they love former President Donald Trump. They would love to see him become the Republican nominee for the 2024 presidential election. And then the second group, they are also conservatives, but they would like to see someone else other than Donald Trump get the Republican nomination for the office of the president. And then the third group, they are liberals. They would love to see the White House and the Oval Office stay in control of the Democrats. So three kinds of people, okay? Conservatives who love Donald Trump, conservatives who don't support Donald Trump, they would like to see someone else get the nomination, and liberals who would like to see the Democrats win. But there's something common among all these three groups of people. And what's that common thing? They are all talking about and they are all mentioning former President Donald Trump. Some are praising him, some are criticizing him, but they are still all talking about him. And I think this is what is going to help the former president get the Republican nomination for the 2024 presidential election. The fact that Donald Trump gets all the attention, that he is continuously mentioned in the news cycle, that people are talking about him on television screens and on social media, these are going to help the former president get the Republican nomination for the 2024 presidential election. So if you ask me who is going to be the Republican nominee for 2024, I will tell you now, my friends, it is going to be former President Donald Trump on the ballot once again in November 2024. That's my observation. That's my objective observation. That's my conclusion. And so if you have any thoughts, if you agree with me, you disagree with me, please reach out and share with me your views. You can connect with me on social media. You can visit my website, tawsifanam.net. And I would love to hear your thoughts. So having said that, let me conclude today's episode. Thank you for continuing to listen to my podcast, and I hope to be back again with a new episode. Thank you.